Hi, welcome to the second lesson in our video series. In this lesson, we're going to look at recognizing when to subtract. We'll look at 3 different ways to do that. So, our question today is, when do you subtract? And our learning target today is recognizing when to use subtraction. Now, I put 3 little dots here for recognizing when to subtract, because if you can recognize when you need to subtract, then you can build a model of a subtraction problem. So let's jump over here and take a look at some of the vocabulary that we'll be using. Left or leftover, we have the word difference, we have the word compare, how many more or how many fewer, and then sometimes we'll even see the phrase take away. Now we're going to go through 3 different examples of subtraction. Take away, comparing, and missing addend. Stick around. Alright, so let's pretend that we have these 4 students and they're making bracelets for a fundraiser for school. They have a goal. The 4 of them have decided that they need to make, so we'll have our goal here, that they want to make a total of 20. Let's say that we have Rick makes 6, Poppy makes 7, Kayla hasn't shown up yet, so we don't know how many she's made. Or she hasn't even made anything yet. And then Bob. Poor Bob. He showed up late, so he was only able to make 2. So in this first example, we're going to look at takeaway. So let's suppose that we have Rick sells 2 of his bracelets. How many are left? Now you heard the word left, which if you'll remember was a vocabulary word up here that tells us we can recognize when to use subtraction. Okay, so we have Rick selling 2 of his. Well, we need to know where to start. In this case, we've got Rick with 6. I'm going to write down 6, that's what I know. Now remember that Rick sold 2 of his, so we got to take away 2 of Rick's, because he sold them, they're gone, they're no longer with him. How many does Rick have left? You don't need a calculator for this one. Just say that he has 4 left over. So I used an equation to show takeaway, but I want to make sure that this answer is correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the related fact to solve and check my answer. So what I do for the related fact is I just start here at the 4 and I go backwards. So I think if 6 minus 2 is 4, the related fact would be 4. We'll start over here, I guess. 4 plus 2 equals 6. Is that true? 4, and then 5, and then 6. Yes. So I've done my subtraction right because I checked it using related fact. Alright, for the second way to recognize subtraction, we are going to be comparing 2 numbers. Sometimes they'll have a question like this. Let's take a look at Bob and Poppy. If you remember, Bob made 2 bracelets for the fundraiser, and Poppy made 7 bracelets for the fundraiser. She's our rock star. Well, we want to compare how many more bracelets Poppy made to Bob. Oh, look over here. We have how many more, and we're going to compare these numbers. So again, we're recognizing when to use subtraction, so we can make a model of this. What we can do is, down below, we can show how many Poppy made by simply drawing a box. Start with what Poppy made. Here's Poppy. P for Poppy. She made 7. We can make a box for Bob, too. Bob made 2. So we'll make a box for Bob. Now he made 2, so his box is going to be a bit smaller, isn't it? Quite a bit smaller. So here's B for Bob, and he made 2. Now when we're comparing 2 numbers, we're going to try to find the difference. I apologize for being left-handed. Promise to move out of the way. There we go. We're going to try to find the difference between these 2 numbers. How do we do that? We subtract them to find the difference. So we need to find this distance here. This is our difference. You probably already know what the answer is, but that's okay. Let's run through it. So we're going to find the difference in comparing these 2 numbers. So we'll go 7. The difference of 2 is 5. we can check our work by using the related fact. Does 5 plus 2 equal 7? Let's rewrite this over here. Does 7 equal 2 plus 5? Well, we can have our 5 fingers and then go 6, 7. Yes, it does. So we've got that. So for this last way that we're going to recognize subtraction is we're going to be doing a missing addend problem. So here's the problem. The group has a goal of 20, as we already talked about. How many does Kayla need to make? Here's how we can set up the problem. We remember that Bob has made 2, and Poppy has made 7, Rick has made 6, and then whatever Kayla has to make will get us to 20, because that's the goal. That's what we need to get. That's our total. And these are our parts, or our addends. So we've got some missing numbers here. We got this out here too. We can simplify this. We can make this a lot easier by just adding 2, 7, and 6. I'm going to see that this is 13 plus 2 is 14, 15. So really this whole thing here reduces and simplifies to 15. We don't know what box is, so it just comes down on the next line. And then of course equals 20. That hasn't changed. You can probably tell what the answer is going to be right away. 15 plus something equals 20. Well, that something has to be 5. And we can plug that in and check it. So let's plug in 5 in the box. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's 20. So this is how you can solve a missing addend piece. In this video, we learned how to recognize when to use subtraction and 3 models to help us solve subtraction problems. I'd like you to take a look at the question below the video and give it a crack. Remember, you can re-watch these videos if you need to. See you tomorrow.